Hi, and welcome to our new video. Since we finished the video series of the small house, we will focus on the garden next. Because we don't like to be renovating all the time and we like some variation, we started to design and take care of the garden. We began all this as soon as the snow left in the spring of 24, when we were also still working on the small house. So, let's begin. First, a little flashback to show you how the property was when we first got there and what we did last year before the snow came. Right here is where we wanted our future vegetable garden. And here is where we wanted to have a fruit tree area. As you can see, there was a big area full of weeds in the middle. But the spot was perfect for our garden, not too far from the house and nice and sunny. Last year we already did some work to prepare the garden. We got rid of the weeds in the middle of our terrain. We got rid of them by flattening them and covering them with cardboard, grass clippings, straw and other organic material to let it decompose. We also planted some fruit trees, and there was a lot of digging because of the water and sewage system. Then the winter came and it all got covered in snow. Fast forward to springtime. Now temperatures rose, a lot of animals started to show their face again. Here we have a slowworm and a young European viper. Also, the Euro owl keeps showing up around our terrain. Back to the order of the day. When the snow left, we saw our terrain for the first time after all the digging for the water and sewage system was done. Because in the same week that was finished, it started snowing and the snow didn't disappear until now. It all looked kinda messy. A lot of stones were on top and had to be removed because we want to have grass here and all the stones would be dangerous with the lawnmower. We removed all the rocks from the surface and kept the bigger ones for later use. We will use them for borders and to make paths. Until now, we didn't see a lot of moose. We've seen glimpses of them running away from us in the forest when we went on walks. But now, when we got home one day, we were in luck. We encountered 3 at once, including a white one, which apparently isn't an albino, but a true white-haired moose, and therefore quite unique. Sorry for the quality of the clip, but we felt we did have to show this to you guys. The trees we planted last year were unfortunately eaten by deer when we were away. Therefore, we needed to build some fences around the trees, or what is left of them. And we're hoping they're not dead. These poles we found underneath our barn and will hold up the fences for now. We will just need to see how long they will hold up. We also planted a walnut tree near the house because we didn't want all the trees, and therefore the blossom, at the back of the garden. Then we found out we had a lot of rabbits in our forest, which we hadn't seen last year. So now we also had to fence off the bottom of the trees. But we will do this at a later time. Now we just wanted to start with our vegetable garden. We ordered 20 cubic meter of soil to cover the whole area, to level the ground and, later on, fill the raised garden beds. To give you an idea of what we're going to build, here's an overview. This is where we cleared the soil of stones. Here's where we planted the fruit trees last year, and here we planted the walnut. This is the area for our vegetable garden. The fence will be 18 by 13 meters. Over here will be the raised garden beds. Here we will plant things like potatoes, corn, tomatoes and zucchini. These will be garden beds for flowers and small fruit bushes, with a border made of the rocks we found and where the plants will be planted in the existing soil. This will be an area for raspberries and wildflowers. And then we have these spots where we also have flowers and some place left for future expansion, and will now use for flowers as well. In all the corners we will put trees like a hazelnut and an elderberry. First we didn't want a fence, but because of the deer eating our fruit trees and all the animals we saw in and around our garden, we figured we needed one, a big one. So we needed a lot of wood. Buying so much wood would be very expensive, and since we already had quite a lot of cut down trees from the area where the septic tank was put and our parking lot was made, we only had to take down a few trees in our piece of forest. This needed to be done anyway to clean up the forest and give the other trees some more room. I'm burning the end that goes into the ground to make them more resistant to rot. Some people also use concrete to make the fence sturdier, but my experience is that when the wood rots away, you're left with big pieces of concrete in the ground. With the way I'm doing it here, the fence will be easier to maintain. Once the first position was determined, I set out a chord for a straight line and used Pythagoras for a 90-degree angle. When the first two sides were up, it was time to figure out where our garden beds would come and if our calculations and drawings were right. In story 2, we built our garden bed frames and now it was finally time to put them in their place. We put new cardboard under the first two beds because the garden turned out a bit bigger than we had thought of last year, so the ground wasn't prepared here. After putting down the raised beds, we did find that the entrance would be a little small, so we moved everything back half a meter, and after all the things seemed to be in order, we continued with the rest. Here we are using the stones we removed from the ground to make borders for the plots designated for berry bushes and wildflowers. Now all the measurements were done, it was time to put up the last two sides of the fence and start with putting in the horizontal supports. This was it for now. Thanks for watching, please comment and subscribe, and see you next time.